would you assess your season overall?
I would say there's a lot of ups and downs that I would like to fix. My consistency is something I talk about every year and trying to improve. And there was times this year where I was a little inconsistent, and would definitely like to, look back on that stuff and try to improve for next year.
I know you're probably sick of hearing about the power play, but it's fourth year now where it's been near the bottom of the league. What was the issue this year? Why did it struggle to get anything going? Did you guys know what you were supposed to be doing, and was it execution? Was it?
I think if we had the answers, we would give them to you. I know everyone that's on the power play and Rock, everybody who's involved is trying their best, and yeah, like I said, I'm sure if one of us had the answer to just flip the switch, we would have definitely spoke up and had something changed. But like I said, everyone was doing their part, working hard at it. And there's a lot of frustration around it because guys care, and that's the most important thing. We're never just, settling to be, it is what it is. We were always working, even towards the last game. It didn't matter. The meeting was still the same way it was on game one, and just keep trying to improve.
Travis, you mentioned about the inconsistency. Were you banged up at all during the season? The goal scoring numbers dropped off in the second half. I don't know if you were dealing with anything.
No, I wasn't dealing with anything. I think just the push that I think that I was making to try to get on that Four Nations team at the start of the year, and just kind of like, I think by the end of that, I was just drained, and it just took a lot out of me. And then once the play started to go down, how it just snowballs and start getting in your own head. And again, that's just something on the mental side of things I got to take care of. If we were in a better spot, a playoff push, that wouldn't have been acceptable to do that. You look around the league and some of the other players that went to that tournament, they find ways to get through it and come out the other side, and it's something I can work at.
Obviously, there's going to be a coaching search that the front office is going to go through here. What kind of coach is the right fit for this team? What sort of attributes, I guess, do you think would be, a fit for where you guys are at in that dressing room right now?
That's for the management side of the things to deal with. I think this group's coachable, so it doesn't really matter whatever style they feel. I think guys are going to adapt, and it's a new chapter, and we'll see where it goes. But I know we're all excited to get back next year and take another swing at it.
Travis, what did you maybe learn about Matvei Michkov throughout the course of the season?
I think he's probably the one guy that I've played with in my career that, he wants to be the best player in the NHL. He believes that he can be, and you can't teach that, and that's just something that he wants and he believes in, and that's a powerful thing, and if he can continue to figure out how to play on both sides of the puck and help us win games that way too. He's a really big part of this.
You played with Claude Giroux, who is always known as fiercely competitive. You think he's up there in terms of competitiveness with Claude Giroux?
Yeah, it's different. G was just intense during practice. He was G was just always leading the right way, working hard. Definitely, I would say he's definitely way more intense than Meech. You guys all knew who G was. And yeah, G thought the same thing. He could be the best, but when you talk to Meech, he believes it. He wants to be the top scorer in the league, and that's where his head's at.
You kind of mentioned it a little bit about the push for the Four Nations, and obviously next year is the Olympics also. And first off, obviously there was a lot of one and done travel, kind of one-offs, going one place, coming back, kind of thing, and it seemed like a very condensed schedule. Is that also in your mind with the Olympics, with the condensed schedule? Again, your training in the off season, preparing, how you prepare differently maybe for next season?
No, I'm gonna prepare the same way. I'm gonna focus on our season again. That's what I was doing last year. Obviously, like I said, there was a push in my head that I would like to be on that Four Nations team, but it didn't change my day to day as far as how I approached like my team, and that's the same way I'm going to look at the summer. I'm not going to train any differently in hopes of making the Olympic team or anything. I'm going to do what I need to do to help the Flyers, and all the other stuff's a bonus.
Danny's mentioned, and some others, I guess, in management too, have said that this is they considered when John was fired, Danny used the word rock bottom. That's rock bottom. How many, assuming that he does go out and try to make this roster better in the off season, how far away do you feel like this team is right now?
From
I guess qualifying for the playoffs, I guess would be first and foremost. How many, do you?
I don't think we're that far from playoffs. I think next year, depending on what happens this summer, is a very realistic, opportunity at being in the playoffs. And then it's a hard question because once you get in, you never know what happens, right? Anything can happen. But I would say being a consistent contender, 2 years.
Yeah.
Once, we still got a young team, we still got guys developing, but I think all the pieces we have right now, we are capable of getting in for sure.
How much are you looking forward to Danny pivoting and starting to add rather than the subtraction we've seen last year?
I think everyone likes being on offense, right? Adding, you're in the mix, you're on the deadline, you're not losing buddies, you're loading up, making new friends, and it's something we all look forward to.
Hey, thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one.
You too.